Hello, good day everyone. Welcome to Virtual Concert Hall's live music channel. I'm Ouspenskaya, I'm a pianist and joining you from Washington, D.C. suburb, and I'll be your host for today's show. Today's program is building upon a discussion which we had recently, just a few days ago, with the members of our judges panel. And for this season of auditions and competitions, we were talking about networking. How, why, what works in the networking for musicians, especially for musicians in the current environment. Today, we will have a very exciting guest. I'm really interested to ask him questions about the networking. Mark Walmsley is going to be joining us in a minute. He is the creator and leader of the Arts and Culture Network, which boasts currently over 80,000 members. And as always, we're here to connect musicians and audiences in live music events, talk shows, and other programs from around the globe. Throughout our season, we host dozens and dozens of events, all aimed at helping musicians get forward with their own goals. For some people, the next step would be probably to perform at the Carnegie Hall or to perform in another prestigious and nerve-wracking venue, and maybe to win scholarships for further study or to perform with an orchestra. And we provide all these and many more opportunities. Let's get a quick overview of the season. Wealth of opportunities for musicians and for audiences to connect with musicians. For every one of these events, which you saw briefly in this little trailer, we work also very hard at providing the environment and opportunities and encouragement for musicians to network. And today's focus of the program is on network. And first of all, I want to thank our partners and collaborators from around the world. Let's bring their logos on screen. We started out with just a few, and this is our fourth season providing those programs. Our network is growing, and what it does, it adds a lot of energy and a lot of more opportunities which we pass on to the musicians and to the audiences. And I would like to encourage everyone to check out these wonderful companies from every part of the world who are putting their hands together with us and with each other to provide more connected and better world for everyone through music. We also stream on every single major platform there is. It's Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Vimeo, and many, many websites of our collaborators. Google us or just go on any one of those platforms. And wherever you're watching us today, please get connected with us. This community of artists, managers, providers, and online platforms are looking to connect with our audience. We want to hear your comments. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to address your questions. And Mark Walmsley, who's going to be joining us in a minute, is also a network guru. So please ask him questions. My questions may not be all of the questions everyone has. So please put comments in the chat wherever you are, on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook, and we'll bring those questions for Mark to answer. Now, there are lots of awards, and guests on our daily shows are representatives of many of those companies which are sponsoring and providing awards for musicians. And what you see on the screen are the seasonal awards, and how to get to win those awards. Get involved. Get connected with us. We are all about connection. Apply to our event, of course, and you will be automatically entered to and eligible to win those awards, which encompass scholarships, performance opportunities, and many, many other opportunities, including getting in touch with Mark. And his network is very welcoming, very warm, and I'm very much looking forward to connect with you, to support your projects with the wealth of 80,000 members. And now I want to welcome Mark to our program. Today, he is our guest. He's a founder and leader of the Arts and Culture Network and a self-described culture vulture. Mark, welcome. It's a great pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Anna. It's a delight to be here. I've been looking forward to this, and I must thank you and your colleagues for all of the great work that you're doing. It's been a pleasure getting ready for this and seeing some of the work that you're doing. So thank you so much for inviting me to join you.
Thank you. I am so excited about this talk. I have probably about 3,000 questions, no, 80,000 questions. But I'll just stick to as many as we can fit in this program. And I just want to say that Arts and Culture Network is a mission-driven and growing global community, again, of over 80,000 practitioners, professionals, specialists, service providers, and the pulse of your community is series of free networking events on Zoom, which you conduct with people joining you from all over the world, and they're aimed at connecting, starting conversation, exploring opportunities for collaborations. And I want to underscore, there's only so much one person can do. Two people can do a lot more. 80,000 people together can probably make a little dent in the change of the world, right?
Absolutely. Independent, self-governed, self-funded, diverse. We're becoming a bit of a force, which is great. You know that happens because a leading publisher published a survey recently, and the Arts and Culture Network was one of the multiple choice answers. So that was rather pleasing. We've hit the radar. But yes,
that's well deserved, and it's also very important that they do, because your network is a source of enormous wealth of potential for everyone who joins it, because you can find incredible partners and collaborators, and you can actually do what you always dreamed of doing because you're no longer doing it alone. So can you tell us a little bit about the background? I want to underscore, you are a musician. So this is a musician-driven movement. So just tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm in the UK. I'm about 40 miles east of London, but I trained at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London in the 80s as a timpanist and percussionist. And that was where it all started. I then spent about the best part of 15 years on and off in the percussion section of the City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra while Simon Rattle was the conductor, so that was great. I got to play the triangle in Carnegie Hall, so I peaked.
Oh yeah, we need to have you in the Carnegie Hall joining our orchestra, the New York Chamber Players Orchestra, at one of the galas. That would be fabulous.
Wouldn't that be fabulous? Yeah. And I played in the pit of some West End shows in central London, and but it was while I was at music college I got the business bug, and I set up an entertainment company. I then went on to set up a web design agency in the 90s when that was a thing.
Wow.
Designing websites for orchestras, which was great. And then I sort of took a bit of detour through medtech and pharmaceuticals and events, and came back to the Arts and Culture Network in just as we were approaching lockdown, really. I noticed that the group that I had set up back in 2010 was suddenly 18,000 strong, and I thought, well, that's great, but we're not meeting. So because everybody got used to using Zoom, and I wanted to create an environment in which the members could collaborate. So my mission is just to create those connections in a similar way to the wonderful stuff that you're doing, the work that you're doing. Of course, our network is across the arts and culture spectrum, everything from performing arts, literary arts, visual arts, heritage, tourism, leisure, sport, even. So it's quite a
That's
broad
incredible,
brush.
and I find that is the future of it, because it used to be each of those industries which you just named, arts, culture, arts and culture were interconnected always, but leisure industry and all these other industries, we had a very limited connection with artists and musicians in the past. Okay, if we're looking for an artist, let's find an agent and hire. That's too primitive. There's a lot more people can do together when they connect across the industries, across the geographical barriers, which we can do right now, and that is an enormous source of energy and potential, I think, in your network, where you connect the artists directly with the representatives of all the other industries, because they can hear us out and they can find out what else we can do in addition to just providing background music, right?
Exactly that, but few people know that the arts and culture industry makes more money for the British government than sport does.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Absolutely, it's one of our main exports. The Beatles, for example.
Sure.
So
fair enough.
it is fascinating, but it's kind of mission driven in that I want to. We don't have any major sponsors. We don't have any grant funding. It's all self-financed by the full members, who pay just £10 per month or the equivalent. So it's 2 cups of coffee in the high street, basically, a month.
Absolutely.
That's for which there are quite considerable benefits. But what the long-term aim is to create a foundation so that half of the membership fees can be used to support deserving initiatives in underdeveloped communities. So, for example,
That's
we have
a wonderful mission.
We have a member who's a young guy. He's in Kampala in Uganda. He has a street dance group. The youngest 4 members of that group are 7 years old, but they're all homeless orphans. So we're able to support that kind of activity, because the golden thread that we have running through the whole network is this undeniable passion for the arts and culture as a force for good around the world. So
absolutely,
that's the aim.
Can I ask you a few practical business questions, since you mentioned the self-funding and all that? So are you planning, or are you maybe already formed as a non-profit organization, or you don't want to go that route?
No, I certainly don't want the burden of charitable status, because the hoops one has to jump through are quite significant.
That's so true.
I'm keeping it simple at the moment. So we're effectively a loosely connected partnership, and I'm the sole proprietor. There will be probably a need in the future to establish a limited company or a corporation, but at the moment it's it's working. It's nice and simple. So
That's very interesting. I asked that question a lot of modern, newer community leaders and company leaders, and I hear a lot of feedback from people that going a nonprofit route just drains the company of energy, human and other resources, towards just trying to manage the bureaucratic side of it instead of going directly to doing things you set out to do. Is that similar to you? Because you're in the UK, I'm in the US, and there's some things I don't know about the UK scene, and I'd like to know.
well, yes, it's all about getting things done, really, and wherever it's about momentum, building momentum, reducing friction, so that we can make a difference. We've had people hired during our networking events. We've had artists from 3 different continents collaborating on a digital show. These things wouldn't have happened had we not got this gang together. So yeah, that I would keep it simple would be my advice until you don't have any choice.
That's great advice. I think you more or less addressed the question of how and why, but I still want to get a little bit more grinding on that, how and why you created Arts and Culture Network.
It started in 2010 as a LinkedIn group, shortly after LinkedIn allowed people to create groups. I was an early adopter of LinkedIn back in January 2004. Apparently I was one of the first 100,000 users.
Amazing.
Which is nuts when you think. I think it's...
It is nuts. So you were
900.
one of the first people who started building websites in the 1990s. In the 1990s, I'll be honest with you, I'd never heard the word website.
Yeah,
and you were creating them.
I taught myself web design in '94, and that helped a lot. But so the LinkedIn group started in 2010, and it grew on its own. And to be honest, I was working in other areas as well, so I kind of forgot about it. I often say I wish I'd done the same with Bitcoin.
Yeah, we all wish.
Yeah,
it's gone.
and now the main group has 47,000 members. We have a jobs and opportunities group, an arts administration group, and a theatre group, and the total is over 80,000.
And I want to encourage everyone to click on those websites and go and check it out.
Thank you very much. We're getting about 300 new members a day at the moment, which is
wonderful.
Which is great.
Wonderful. And we want to bring everyone who is watching these programs, please check out those websites. Check out who are the people in there. You will see that people don't just join those groups out of nothing. These are actually great musicians, wonderful promoters, and people who are movers and shakers in our industry and other industries as well. Yeah. I want to also ask you another question. How do you define networking?
Effectively, networking is becoming increasingly important. Recruitment agencies are filling fewer jobs. Referrals and introductions are, in our industry, I think somebody quoted recently, 80% of roles in the creative industries are filled, have some kind of referral at their source. And so it's increasingly important, especially for young people, to have a network of people who understand them and what they're capable of doing. I can't remember who coined the phrase, but your network is now your net worth. And
yes, I don't know who coined it, but it's a really good expression of it. Yep.
Yeah. So networking is really the process of connecting and growing relationships that you can sustain with people who can help you in the future, and vice versa. So there is it's a giver's gain is a good way of approaching it. So the more you give, the more it's likely to come back to you. But if I was a university undergraduate at the moment, I'd be all over LinkedIn to try and build that network and other networking destinations to build that network, so that when you graduate, you've got 2,000 people you can call on for help in those circumstances. So it's
Absolutely.
relationship.
Now, well, you're talking about the young people, but what about people who grew up or spent, years in a different environment of the 20th century? I believe in the 20th century, networking was almost near approaching taboo. As as a musician, you need to be discovered as opposed to network and offer yourself for others to collaborate. There was no such a relaxed culture about networking. It's changing, but there are people of a different age, and they may not even have a LinkedIn profile. Is it too late for them?
No, never too late. It also used to be said when I was a music student: if you can, you'll play. If you can't, you'll teach, and if you can't teach, you'll administrate.
I hate this. I hate this one. It's so untrue.
It's changed. It really has changed. It wasn't the case for me. I enjoyed and did well in all three of those disciplines, and we need all three. But yes, I think LinkedIn as the primary online location for networking has changed the game in that respect, because it's made it a global operation, and I'm seeing an increasing number of people, both young people and not so young people, joining our groups on LinkedIn with very few first connections of their own, and it's happened a lot, and it suggests that people in our industry are embracing LinkedIn like never before and realizing it's no longer just for a job in a bank.
Absolutely.
Or 80,000 people wouldn't have joined our groups. So
absolutely. But I know you have a lot of events, and we'll do a quick overview of all the efforts you're putting out, and your collaborators are too. I feel like there may be a need for some people like yourself to come out and help people dismantle those biases, like if you can't play, you teach, that kind of stuff, because those are mental barriers which are, I think, holding back a lot of wonderful artists and people who could potentially realize themselves on a much more effective and grander scale if they didn't have those predispositions against networking. What do you think?
I agree. It's those if you're freelancing, and increasingly we're freelancing and contracting in our industry, you need a sales team out there, a part-time sales team out there, and that's the people who know you, trust you, and like you, and can you need to speak to Anna, or you need to speak to Mark. If that's happening out there for you, then you're going to be at an advantage. So
absolutely. And then there's so many dreams and ideas people might have, but they kind of self-limit themselves, and they say, well, I can't create a festival, I just can't. Well, of course one person cannot, but you go on LinkedIn, you go on Mark's groups, Arts and Culture Network, you become a member, you start networking, you start meeting people who say, oh wow, that's a beautiful idea, how about I add this piece to your effort? And then you create that network of people who share your goal, share your idea, share your mission, and together you can do a lot more things. Yep. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about the membership in the Arts and Culture Network. If you can just give people an idea of how to get involved, how to get connected, and how to become a member. And
sure.
Maybe we can even do a quick overview of what's on your website.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great.
So this is Mark's beautiful website, and I like that network logo on top. Yeah,
that's kind. So there are effectively three levels of involvement. The first level is all of the LinkedIn groups, of which there are 4, and they're free to use, of course. And if you join, and if you want to post and introduce yourself to the network, tag me and I'll repost it, which will give it a bit more of a boost.
And I want to say something about this. People often assume that influencers, let me just call you for what you are. You are an influencer. People often assume, well, influencers are too busy to pay any personal attention to me. I'm too small for them. This is so not true, because I texted you and you responded.
Yeah.
And to which Mark says, please tag me, I will respond. And I really appreciate you and respect you very much for that kind of, you are really walking your own talk. You say connect on a personal level, connect on a direct level, and you follow up with what you do. If you, I want to tell to everyone who's watching, if you tag Mark, he is going to respond. He is going to pay attention and connect with you and offer you his help.
Yeah, I will. And also, we get shout outs at the events. So we have three kinds of events. One is for the at lunchtime in the UK, typically, like that one on Thursday this week.
Artificial intelligence and creative integrity. This is amazing, an amazing event. I'm definitely attending. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, Claire Woods is doing that one. She's an AI marketer, but it's going to be she's going to do a 10-minute speed webinar, but also it'll be an open discussion around all our experiences with artificial intelligence in our work. So that'll be interesting. It's only an hour. Everybody gets to meet 7 people at random for 5 minutes in private. It's free. And it's free. And it's not a pitch fest. It's a hello, my name's Mark. What do you do? And then the next one I think is our global networking. That's going to be on the 19th of October. So that's 10 a.m. Los Angeles, 1 p.m. New York, and 6 p.m. London. And I'm doing a quick spot on a concept called minimalist marketing on that one. And then we're face to face in London again at the end of October.
Where do you hold those face to face events?
I'm a fellow of the Royal Society of Arts, so as a fellow, we get use of the central London location. That's not it, by the way. That's the Royal Opera House, but in Covent Garden. But we were there last Friday as well. We had quite a few people who could get to London, and they travelled quite some distance. So all of these events are free, or there's an option to donate. But and then we've got Charlie is doing the Unnatural Networker. So anyone who's not comfortable networking, he'll be able to help in that one.
This is perfect. Anyone who has those mental barriers against networking and feels like I don't know how to do it and I'm not even sure I'll be judged harshly for trying to do it, this is the event for everyone who feels that way.
And then this is the next Asia Pacific one, so that's at a more convenient time for colleagues down under and in the Far East. And then, we go right into 2024. Please don't feel as though you need to go through all of them, but they're all
sure.
updated. They're all updated on the website. So the events are the second level of involvement. They're great fun. We've had people hired during the meetings. Alex was a young writer aspiring to get into journalism writing, so he was hired during his 5-minute meeting, which was hilarious.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's wonderful.
And for those who want a little bit more of a boost in their profile, their network, their career, and or their business, we have a full membership program, which is only £10 a month. I think that's $12 or €13, perhaps. It's the equivalent of 2 cups of coffee.
Nowadays, it doesn't even cover your little snack at coffee shop.
Yeah, but the thinking behind that is that we're going to be stronger as a community and as a network if a large number of people pay a small amount rather than the opposite. So what we do is I interview the new member. We publish that to YouTube. It gets embedded in a page on this website. And there's Julia, for example. You can.
Let's use Julia as an example, just to see what the members get and what kind of interview they get. Let me see if I can get to her profile. Oh, that's beautiful. She's a cellist. Wonderful.
She's a cellist and often in the London Philharmonic Orchestra. And so this is where I get to add a profile. We optimize it for search so that it's easily found, and then we embed the videos of the interviews here.
I believe we have a sample of.
I think they do. Yeah.
Let's hear a little bit about of that interview. The way you did it.
Mark here, founder at the Arts and Culture Network. It's time for another one of my arts and culture hot top 10s, and I'm joined by the wonderful Julia from Chamber Music Box, which might hint at some of the answers to the forthcoming questions. Julia, do you want to say hello and just tell us a little bit about Chamber Music Box?
Hi, Mark. Lovely to be with you today. Now, in a nutshell, Chamber Music Box is a small arts organization which I run together with my partner, violinist called Yuri Karnitz. And what we aim to do is to put on chamber music concerts that really put a bit of a more accessible contemporary spin on the genre. So we are playing in a vast array of different venues across the country, different concert formats. So not everything is a long evening concerts. Most of the concerts are around about an hour. And most importantly, you get to hear an incredibly large variety of music and lots of different instruments in combinations that
That was great. That was Julia. But what we didn't, please go and have a look at the rest of the video for that, because the arts and culture hot top 10 is a great icebreaker. It's lovely because I ask for the interviewee's favourite from 10 different art forms.
didn't even know existed.
Perfect. That's a perfect introduction. And where can we find out more if we want to learn more?
Where can you find out more? You can go onto our website at www.chambermusicbox.com. And of course, we are also on Facebook, on Instagram and Twitter at Chamber Music Box.
Brilliant. Excellent. So now that we've set the scene, this is our opportunity for people to understand a bit more about what makes your heart flutter and you get up in the morning and do it. So I've got a series of things. They're all arts and culture categories, and we'll work through them. And I'd like you instinctively to tell me which is your favorite in each category, if you have one. And if there's a reason, then by all means share that. So up first, I'd like to know if you have a favorite building.
Oh, a favorite building. They're quite a few, I have to say. Favorite building off the top of my head, what comes to mind? The first one I thought of was the Sagrada Familia.
Nice. Beautiful. That's a good one. I was expecting it to be a concert hall, but there you go. And do you have and the idea is that these are the ones, it's the one you could not live without, okay, in each of these categories.
Okay.
You have to, okay. So the next one is book. Do you have a favorite book?
Oh, a favorite book.
You're looking behind you at your background.
Yes, I'm looking behind me because you see I'm in front of all our lovely books here. Again, I would probably struggle to pick a favorite, but in terms of genre,
yeah,
one of my absolute favorites is Russian literature.
Okay. So are we thinking Tolstoy, or are we thinking?
We are thinking in the direction of Bulgakov, Bunin, in that direction.
Okay. Excellent, brilliant. You see what?
All right, that's wonderful. So I love, Mark, how you conduct those interviews, because you're giving people a platform, basically an opportunity to share themselves beyond their craft. So to share themselves as people, which that's what big side of the networking. So you need to connect on a personal level, because there's more to collaborating than just collaborating on a purely professional level, right?
Yeah. It's also an advantage for those who opt for full membership and have the interview that the YouTube video is optimized. So quite often, the YouTube link. I mean, YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world.
It is.
So if the member doesn't have much video content on YouTube, then this helps enormously because it appears for the search. So yeah, it's great fun. The other benefit that we add just briefly is that I'm able to filter down the 80,000 group members. So for example, yesterday, last week, an author in Washington wanted to know who was in our group working in publishing in North America. So I was able to send her a name list of 328 fellow members who fit the bill.
Amazing.
So she
that's
can
amazing.
and that's part of the membership fee, and she can now reach out to those people, message them directly inside the group, and start those conversations.
So instead of just doing that search person by person and trying to figure out what it is they're doing, whether or not they are a good, a person to approach for your project or whatever, you go to Mark and he does it for you for just £10 a month.
Yeah, because
unbelievable.
Because I'm the admin of the group and I use Sales Navigator, which is a rather expensive add-on to LinkedIn, I can do it for you effectively without saving that. And Anjali at the top of that page, it represents one of our success stories. Anjali is a dancer and an arts administrator. She was 48 hours away from having to fly back to India because her work visa was coming to an end. Oh. And Jenny Leggery, who is a marketing expert somewhere else in the States, offered her the job she needed so that she didn't have to get on that plane.
Amazing.
And she's gone on to do some fantastic work since, and she does an awful lot for charity. So that was a nice success story.
Yes.
Those interviews were fun as well.
That's one of the many stories I know you have, Mark, of empowering people to do what they thought was impossible.
Mm. Yeah,
and that's
talking about things that are impossible. Talking about this piece behind me is by one of our members, the abstract artist Farah Syed. She teaches blind people how to paint.
Amazing.
I know, incredible. We can all tell the difference between colours by touch, apparently.
Wow.
She does some great work with that.
Amazing. So, like people say, be out there, be seen. But how? You need help. Every one of us need help. Understanding how to do that, but not only, we need other people to add to our goals, to our mission, to our energy. And when you're ready, go to Mark. I want to encourage everyone, go to Mark and go to his community of like-minded people who are really doing just that, adding their enormous power of community to your own projects, to your own dreams, and helping us all fulfill ourselves. And that's collectively we're going to make the world better by doing that. It's like incredible. You don't even know what you can do, like help someone stay in the country where they want to stay and be fulfilled, or help someone teach more blind people to paint, and it's like the list goes on and on. It's forever. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Anna.
Mark, thank you for being who you are, for being the influencer you are, for putting your incredible energy and your wonderful, kind, giving heart into this work. I feel really honored and blessed to have met you.
That's very kind, and thank you so much for inviting me to join you today.
It was a great pleasure, and I want to say we had an honor and a great pleasure to present Mark Walmsley, creator of Arts and Culture Network. It's a huge network with an incredibly forward-looking, supportive spirit and mission, which invites you to join. I would like to invite you to join, and please be with us. Add your dreams, your ideas, your projects to this big pot of energy and big movement of creativity on that platform and on that network. And with this, I want to thank everyone who supports our programs, all the collaborators and sponsors and partners. Thank you all very much for being with us, for adding your energy to our own efforts. And of course, I want to thank every one of our guests. I want to thank Mark for being a guest on our program. We're streaming on every single platform, major platform. You can find us, and please get involved, get in touch, be part of our mission. And thank you, our incredible team of musicians, artists, collaborators. And I want to give special thanks to Jennifer Wang and James Walt, who were directing this show for us. And I want to thank our viewers for being with us today. Please tune in. We are live at 12 noon every day, Eastern Standard. Do your own calculation what that time zone is it for you. And again, thank you for being with us, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye now. Thank you, Mark.
Hey, check this out. I know you have always dreamed of performing in Carnegie Hall, so I think this 2023 to 2024 season at Sound Espressivo would be perfect for you. As a platform, we host live online auditions so you can share your music with the entire world. Then we send you to incredible in-person venues like Carnegie Hall so you can perform solo, as a duo, as an ensemble, and with orchestra. This year we have a total of 4 gala events at Carnegie Hall, as well as 4 different opportunities to perform with orchestras in the US, in the Czech Republic, and even in Egypt. We want to help you fulfill your musical dreams. Go to soundespressivocompetition.com to check out our season and to apply.